Hello, my friends. My name is Adrian Meraz. I am a leadership development expert and creator of the Workplace Transformation Program. Today, I'd like to start by saying that I'm very happy and thankful for the opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with you. Today's presentation is called Workplace Transformation: 3 Steps to Transform Your Company Culture in order to increase financial performance, engagement, and employee satisfaction. Now, in this presentation, you're going to learn the importance of your company culture and why it is the ultimate driver to your success. Then we're going to talk about the concept of workplace transformation. And finally, I'm going to share with you 3 steps you must follow in order to become a world-class manager and leader and transform your company culture. Before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. As I mentioned before, my name is Adrian Meraz. I graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso in 2006 with a degree in industrial engineering. After that, I had the chance to work in the industry for about 15 years, where I started as a project engineer, then I became a production supervisor, quality manager, production manager, and the last 3 years of my life as an employee, I had the opportunity to become a plant manager responsible for the production, safety, and quality of 450 plus employees, and also responsible for the development of managers, supervisors, and team leaders. Now, this was a very pivotal moment in my career for me because this is where I discovered my true passion. I actually realized that what I enjoyed doing the most was to help managers and supervisors develop their management and leadership skills so they could increase performance and get better results through their employees. So after working as a plant manager for 3 years, I decided to quit my job and pursue my true passion. So over the last 5 years, I have been able to help top executives, managers, and supervisors develop their leadership skills in order to transform their company culture and create a work environment of teamwork, effective communication, commitment, accountability, employee engagement, and employee satisfaction. I have been very fortunate to share my knowledge and experience with many company leaders across many different industries in both the United States and in Mexico. And my message to you today is, if you apply the leadership and management strategies that I'm about to share with you, you are going to become a world-class manager and leader that people want to work for and companies want to hire. The leadership principles that I will teach you in this presentation are time-tested and proven to work. If you implement them correctly, they will guarantee your success as a manager and as a leader in the workplace. So please avoid any distractions. Grab a pen and paper and be ready to take some good notes. Let's get started. First, I'd like to introduce you to the concept of company culture. Company culture is made out of 2 elements. The first one is what we say we do, and the second one, what we actually do. What we say we do is established by the mission, which is the purpose that the company has besides making money. And then you have your vision, which is the long-term plan of what the company wants to become in the future. And finally, we have the values and beliefs, which is a set of values or set of behaviors that the company wants to use in order to conduct business inside and outside of the company. Now, the second and most important element of a company culture is what we actually do. And this includes all of our actions, behaviors, decisions, and attitudes. In my personal opinion, this is what matters most. Why? Because this is how we treat employees and coworkers. This is how we communicate with others, how we listen to others, how we make decisions, how we solve problems, how we manage and lead our employees, and at the end of the day, it's all about how we make others feel. So I have seen companies with great mission, vision, and values, but they're not carrying out what they say they're going to do. And therefore, this leads to a company or a company culture that is not conducive to trust, not conducive to engagement, satisfaction, or high performance. So in essence, the culture of a company is established by the beliefs, behaviors, and actions that employees of all levels carry out at the workplace on a daily basis. In other words, the culture can be described as the personality of the company. And this culture must be defined, communicated, and supported by the leadership of the company. Now, because cultures are made out of people, company culture is all about how we treat each other in the workplace. Company culture is all about the quality of the relationships between the leadership of the company and its employees. So a simple definition of company culture could be how executive members, managers, and employees treat each other, communicate, and work together to achieve the goals of the company. Now, why is company culture so important? For one simple reason. The culture of the company is the ultimate driver of operational performance, financial performance, and employee satisfaction. So, why would the leadership of a company want to change or improve their culture? For two reasons, actually. Reason number one is because they're not happy with their results and they see opportunity for improvement. And when I'm talking about results, I'm talking about company revenue, profitability, and internal performance metrics. Now, reason number two is because they're not happy with the way they feel in the workplace. And this is where either them, and I'm referring to top management, or their employees are experiencing a toxic work environment. This is where they have high levels of stress, frustration, and burnout, or there's lack of teamwork, low satisfaction, low engagement, fear, uncertainty, and lack of trust, or there's simply lack of accountability, working in silos, and blaming each other. The other reason is because they're facing recurrent problems that they cannot or they don't know how to get out of, and they're unable to reach a breakthrough. As a management transformation expert and leadership coach, one of the questions I ask my clients is, what is the biggest problem or challenge that keeps you from getting the results you want? So after talking to hundreds of top executives and managers, here are some of the most common management problems that they're facing. First, we start with high employee turnover, and this is the number of employees that leave the company in a specific period of time. Now, this is a big problem because every time the company loses an employee, they have to hire and train new employees, and this can get very expensive. In fact, according to a publication called The HR Specialist, the total turnover cost for an employee making $30,000 per year could be around $7,500. This is 25% of their annual wage. So if a company loses 10 employees per year, we're talking about $75,000. If they lose 50 employees per year, then now we're talking about $375,000. But that's not all. The biggest financial impact actually comes from the lost opportunity of not having the people when you need them, also incurring overtime paid to fulfill your demand, and also with costly mistakes or accidents from employees that are rushed through training or that are not trained at all. Believe me, I have seen this happening all the time and it doesn't get the attention it deserves. Now, there are other management problems that also affect the bottom line. And here are some more examples. Disengaged employees, quality problems, low performance, which means that the standards are not met consistently, lack of safety compliance and high incident rates, lack of communication and poor communication, lack of teamwork and unity, unable to execute the plan, and as you know, there's no such thing as a $1 million plan, there's only $1 million execution. Lack of flexibility, cooperation, and participation from employees, absenteeism and other attendance issues, insubordination, sabotage in some cases, lack of accountability, which is one of the most common ones that I see in different industries, resistance to change, and employee burnout. Now let me ask you a question. Why do you think companies and organizations have these problems? Well, before we answer that question, what do you notice about these problems? What I notice about these problems is that the majority of them are related to the people side of the company. Now, let me explain. There are three areas of development for managers: the technical, people, and business. The technical side is related to the specific industry and department that you work in. It includes the specific methods and processes required to complete a task, make a product, or provide a service. The business side is all about the money, legal, and administrative side of the company. This includes your KPI reports, performance trends, your profit and loss statements, budgets, capacity planning, cost control, financial projections, and sales. And then we have the people side. This area is about your leadership and management style. This is how you get results through your employees. It's the quality of your relationships with your employees and coworkers. And it's about your ability to build trust, coach, engage, and motivate employees. At the end of the day, this is all about your communication, your emotional intelligence skills, and your employee management skills. Now, do you remember the list of problems we just went over a moment ago? Well, companies have these problems because their managers and supervisors are not developed on the people side. So why do companies have these problems? Because of a lack of balance. And as you can see, the people side is the one that gets the least attention. Now, why is there a lack of balance in these three areas? For two reasons. First, the education system is not designed to develop the people management and leadership side. And second, most companies have not made management and leadership development a priority. So in other words, they prefer to live with the problems. So put simply, the real problem is that most executives, managers, and supervisors are not properly trained on fundamental people management and leadership skills. So how can a company and its employees benefit from a culture that focuses on the people side? How can employees benefit from a culture that is based on leadership principles? Well, here's my take on it. As a manager, you are going to spend a lot of time at work. The way you feel, and this includes physically, mentally, and emotionally, depends on your relationship with your boss, relationship with other managers and coworkers, with your employees, your performance and results, the work environment, and this includes the working conditions. And when these elements are negative, this is when we feel stressed and frustrated, we feel demotivated and distracted, we do the work because we have to and not because we really want to, we feel drained almost to the point of burnout, and we transmit the same negative attitude and feelings towards others if we haven't developed our emotional intelligence. But it can get worse. You could bring these negative feelings home and affect your loved ones. Or you can do the opposite, which is to keep or avoid talking about how you feel from work, and by doing that, you suppress your emotions, which could lead to an illness. On the other hand, if you have a positive work environment that is based on leadership principles, the communication and teamwork improves, things get done with less effort, employees feel more appreciated and valued, satisfaction and motivation grows, your performance is achieved consistently, and employees look forward to going to work. So if we work in a positive environment, we can bring those feelings home as well. So creating a culture focused on the people and based on leadership principle is a really big deal, because if done correctly, it will affect people's lives in a positive way. It will also create an opportunity to increase the financial performance of the company, and with time, it will enhance the quality of lives of employees inside and outside of work. And that, my friend, is something worth fighting for. So the next logical question is, how exactly do we do that? Well, now is the time to talk about the concept of workplace transformation. So what if we don't change at all and something magical just happens? Well, you and I know that that's not how it works. Workplace transformation is quite the opposite. It's all about change, but this change is managed and calculated. So workplace transformation is the process by which a company evaluates and changes their actions and behaviors with the purpose of improving their results and their personal satisfaction levels. And there are two key steps in order to achieve this. The first one is we must identify and eliminate the negative behaviors that keep us from getting the results we want. And also, we have to identify and implement the right behaviors that will get us closer to our desired results. So let me give you an analogy. Let's say this couple wants to lose weight. If they decide to stop drinking soda, eating late, and eating fast food, they are going to see results. But if on top of that, they replace those bad behaviors with new habits and new behaviors, then in this case, they will get better results. So if they decide to start drinking more water, sleeping more, working out regularly, this is when they're going to see their best results. And the same concept applies to the workplace. The key is to eliminate the negative behaviors that keep us stuck and replace them with the right behaviors that will help us achieve a breakthrough. Now, every company requires a different workplace transformation strategy, depending on their needs, their problems, and the current challenges that they have. However, I discovered three fundamental steps that have always created the biggest breakthroughs in the process of culture transformation. In fact, I consider these the three management principles that every manager and every leader must know in order to be successful at work. And principle number one, or step number one, is to learn how to build trust with employees and coworkers. So if you're ready to embark on the journey to culture transformation that is based on leadership principles, you must master the art of building trust. Now, what is your definition of the word trust? Well, here's my definition. My definition of trust is the absence of doubt or fear towards another person, which allows a free flow of information, expression, and action. Now, why is it so important that we build trust with employees and coworkers? Very simple. Employees make an effort to meet the goals that are established by a supervisor or boss who they trust. Trust allows you to influence your team and your coworkers to make positive changes. If there is no trust, there is no communication or teamwork. But here's the good news. When you build trust, this is what you get in return. You build influence, commitment, and information. And as a manager, you probably know that information is one of the most precious resources that you can have, because this is what allows you to make better decisions. So if people that you work with trust you, they are more likely to share critical facts with you on time. So what are some of the most effective ways to build trust with your employees and coworkers? Well, you build trust when you make your employees feel important and valued. You build trust when you keep your promises. You build trust when you dedicate time and attention to your team, especially when you are physically, mentally, and emotionally present when you interact with them. You build trust when you enhance the intellectual and emotional states of your employees. You build trust when you maintain a balance between what you give and what you expect from your employees. And you build trust when you give a solution, alleviate a pain, or provide a favorable answer to somebody else's problem. Now, this is one of my favorite quotes from John Maxwell, and it says, "Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand." Now, keep in mind that building trust is not easy and it requires time and effort on your part. When you build trust, your employees start to care more about the job and the success of the company. And when you build trust with your employees, they will feel free to tell you what is really happening at work. And this, my friends, is priceless. So, in summary, trust and credibility are the currencies of a leader. You can exchange this currency for your team's performance, commitment, motivation, and accountability. At the end of the day, no significant breakthrough or positive changes will be achieved unless trust is built and maintained. Now let's jump into step number 2, which is to understand and fulfill employees' needs. As a leader, it is critical that you understand and fulfill the needs of your employees. Do you remember the list of common management problems we went over earlier? Well, the main causes of those problems are because basic employees' needs are not met or because the employee is not the right fit for the position. It was either a hiring or placement mistake. Now, what do you think are some of the most important employees' needs? If you had to make a list, how many of those needs do you think you can come up with? Well, let me take a moment to give you a few examples of what I consider some of the most fundamental employees' needs. And I'm going to start with the need of attention. Your employees need attention from you as much as you need performance from them. So in this case, what I want you to do is to take the time to check in and see how your employees are doing. Make them feel important and valued. Be mentally and emotionally present when you interact with them. This means to engage in eye contact, check your tone of voice, check your body language, and make sure that you're engaging in active listening. Help them see how they are contributing. The most important thing here is your employees want to be seen, noticed, and acknowledged by you. Number 2 is clear expectations. Your employees need to know what you expect from them. So employees need to know what they need to do and what guidelines to follow. So in this case, we have to define performance standards, behavior expectations, and company policies. We also want to define their role, authority levels, and what they will be evaluated on. We need to provide clarity and structure by setting expectations in writing. Clear expectations will help the employee focus on the right activities. Number 3 is training, coaching, and mentoring. This is where we take the employee from knowing what to do to learning how to do it. So training is when it comes to new tasks, assignments, or new processes. Coaching is when facing performance or behavioral issues that they've already received training on. And mentoring is more about preparing them for the future. This could be a higher level position. So again, training, coaching, and mentoring will answer the what, the how, and the whys of their position and the activities that they have to perform. The quality of your training and coaching will have a direct impact on the performance of the employee. Number 4 is tools and resources. We want to make sure that we enable our team to work safely, efficiently, and effectively. So we have to give our employees the necessary tools to do the job right. So we have to ask ourselves, do they have the right tools? And I'm talking about equipment, software, standard tools, or personal protective equipment. Are they using these tools properly? Are the tools in good condition? So we have to help them understand the value of the tools so that they know how to take care of them as well. Now, providing the right tools and resources will help us minimize low performance, safety incidents, quality problems, and frustrations. Number 5 is feedback. Your employees need to know how they are doing their job. So once they understand your expectations, they want to know if they are on the right track. So feedback is about providing reassurance that the work is being done correctly or if it needs adjustments. Now, check your tone of voice, your body language, and your choice of words when providing feedback, because these elements will actually have a bigger emotional impact on the employee than the feedback itself. Don't wait until it's too late, and remember, timely feedback will help your employees stay on track. Number 6 is to make your employees feel understood. So put yourself in their shoes and understand their perspective. Here we're going to provide a safe space for employees to voice their opinions without feeling judged or without interruptions. We want to make sure that we listen to understand instead of listening to respond. So put yourself in their shoes, understand their situation or challenge, and express if you relate to a similar situation. If you are able to convey that you understand their situation, your employees will feel relieved even if you don't have a solution for them. So, when you make your employees feel understood, you create a connection that leads to influence and loyalty. Number 7 is all about appreciation, praise, and recognition. These are simple and easy ways to increase your employee engagement. So, thank your employees for being there to support you. Praise your employees when they have met their goals or when they have shown progress, and recognize privately and publicly when they have consistently met or exceeded their goals. Your employees will make an effort to increase performance in activities that are valued and appreciated by you. And remember, the more specific and genuine your praise is, meaning that it comes from the heart, the stronger the connection you will create. Number 8 is the need of support. Let your employees know that you have their back. So create an environment where it is okay to ask for help. Make yourself available when your employees need help. And be careful not to fall into the rescuer mode where you start doing their job. So support is about showing your team that they are not alone and that they can count on you when they get stuck. So when your employees feel supported by you, it is easier to empower them to take bigger projects in the future. Number 9 is the need to get involved. Your employees need to know that their input is important. So to get your employees involved means to make them part of what is going on in the company and in their departments. Whenever there is a problem or challenge, get them involved in the problem-solving process, even if you know the answer. Remember to ask employees for input on decisions that affect them, and thank them for their input and follow up if necessary. So when you request and value the opinions and ideas of your employees, you will increase engagement. And number 10, which is one of the most important needs of employees, financial compensation. So provide employees with a competitive and fair compensation that is based on their field and industry, region, experience, and performance levels. If you don't have the authority to give a wage increase, then build a case for review. Your employees will want more money when the other needs are not fulfilled. And this is an effect or a phenomenon that I see happen all the time. When employees come to you to request more money, it is most of the time is because some of the other basic needs are not fulfilled, and they feel that they deserve more money because they have to put up with other problems. So there you have it. I just gave you a few examples of some of the most fundamental employees' needs, and just so you know, there are more. Let me give you some more examples. Equal and fair treatment, balanced workload, growth, progress, and new challenges, respect and professionalism, safe and secure work environment, work and personal life balance, and job stability. Now, there is something that I really need to stress out. It is very important to understand and fulfill employees' needs, but it is even more important the way you make your employees feel when you fulfill those needs. Once again, it is not what you give them that will help you build trust. It is how you make them feel when you give it to them. And now we're ready for step 3, which is to learn the secret to high-quality interactions with employees and coworkers. As a leader, you must understand that every interaction you have with others is an opportunity to touch their lives. Now, the bad news is that the average boss or the average manager interacts with their employees only when he or she needs something from them, or when there is a problem and the employee needs to be reprimanded. So these type of interactions do not create an environment of trust. In fact, sometimes employees feel used or that they're not important. On the other hand, a world-class manager and leader will balance the interactions in a way that makes the employee feel important and valued. So this means that you will take the first step to meet your employees' needs, or to add value through training, discuss progress on assignments, and through appreciation and praise. And then you can address additional projects or performance issues. The difference is in what you say, how you say it, and maintaining a balance between what you give and what you take during your interaction. So the secret to high-quality interactions is to elevate and enhance the emotional and intellectual states of the people you interact with. You, my friend, are more powerful than you realize. Through an interaction, you have the power to send your employee to a state of confusion, frustration, stress, anxiety, burnout, disempowerment, and lack of trust, which is the territory of low performance. Or, through a different interaction, you have the power to send your employee to a state of clarity, motivation, excitement, empowerment, inspiration, engagement and trust, which is the element of high performance. Now, what can we do to enhance the emotional and intellectual states of our employees and coworkers? Well, let's break it down into 3 easy steps. Step number 1 would be to understand their situation. This is where we engage in active listening to understand your employees' needs, challenges, or ideas. We're going to listen to understand instead of listening to respond. We're going to ask clarifying questions, and we're going to make notes of important details during this discovery conversation. Step number 2 is what I call to connect. And here we're going to thank them for being open to talking to us. We're going to use the concept called mirroring, which is to repeat some of the key details back to them to send the message that you are listening and understanding their situation. We're also going to empathize with our employees about their situation, and if we can, we're going to try to put ourselves in their shoes. We're going to provide hope that things will get better, and we're going to share ideas about how we can provide relief to their situation. And step number 3 is to respond and follow up. This is where you deliver on your promise to provide relief to their situation. You provide support through your guidance and coaching, and make sure to follow up with your employees to ensure that your help and involvement has been effective in providing relief. Now remember, high-quality interactions will help you generate a positive ripple effect in your organization. Now, in order to build strong relationships that are based on trust and that can help you engage and empower your employees to higher performance, here are 3 additional elements that you need to keep in mind. And these elements are frequency, balance, and emotions. When it comes to frequency, this is what we need to ask ourselves. How often do you meet with your employees one-on-one? Do you meet with them enough times to know what they're really going through? Do you have their full attention when you meet with them, or is the meeting being rushed? The longer you wait to meet with your employees, the more likely you are going to find surprises. Now, when it comes to balance, what do you talk about when you meet with your employees? Is it to point out what went wrong and to reprimand them? Or is it to ask for more work? Or is it to take the time to understand their situation and fulfill their needs and provide coaching and support? Or is it just to thank them for their work and to highlight the progress that they have made? Remember to maintain a balance between what you give and what you take in every conversation that you have with your employees. And finally, we have emotions. How do you make your employees feel during your interactions? What can you notice in their body language? What do you notice in their tone of voice? Are they afraid to meet with you, or are they looking forward to meeting with you? Do they leave your meeting feeling frustrated and confused, or do they feel empowered and motivated? Remember, the way you make your employees feel during your interactions will determine their level of trust and commitment to the job and to yourself. At the end of the day, the goal is to build a healthy relationship where you and your employees meet halfway. All right, let's take a moment to recap what we have covered in today's presentation. So here's what we have learned so far. We learned that company culture is how executive members, managers, and employees treat each other, communicate, and work together to achieve the goals of the company. Now, as a manager, you can do this by the use of force, using fear and intimidation, or by the use of managerial leadership principles, which include building relationships, fulfilling your employees' needs, mentoring and coaching your employees, and also through engagement and empowerment. We also learned the concept of workplace transformation, which is the process by which a company evaluates and changes their actions and behaviors with the purpose of improving their results. And by results, I'm talking about financial results and employee satisfaction. You see, for the longest time, companies and organizations have had one top priority, and that is to make more money. But now there has been a shift. More and more companies are making employees their top priority and are building company cultures that focus on both performance and employee satisfaction. And guess what? The more the companies focus on the people, the easier it is to make more money and get more profits. We also learned the 3 fundamental steps to jumpstart the process of culture transformation. And these steps were to build trust, to meet and fulfill employees' needs, and to engage in high-quality interactions with your team. So when you follow these 3 steps, the result is what I call total engagement of body, mind, and heart. And total engagement will lead to higher performance. So in summary, here are the top 5 most important teachings I will give you today. Number 1, higher employee performance and teamwork is just a natural consequence of a work environment where all of employees' needs are met. Number 2, in order for culture transformation to happen, you must have the right people with the right skills in the right position. And when I'm talking about right people, what I mean is the right attitude, the right mindset, people that are willing to learn, willing to change, that are coachable, honest, and responsible. The right skills? Well, now you know that we have technical, business, and people. And the right position, this is where the employee's natural abilities and passions match the tasks and activities that they are performing. Number 3, as a leader, you must become aware of how your actions and behavior affect your performance and the performance of your team. And number 4, the key to a successful transformation is to build momentum by highlighting and celebrating progress. And remember, we work on eliminating negative behaviors and replacing them with positive behaviors that are based on leadership principles. And finally, number 5, the transformation of the company culture starts with the personal transformation of the leaders of the company. So that's it for today's presentation. I really hope you enjoyed this training as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. Now, there is something that I want you to know. What you learned today in this training is just the tip of the iceberg. The truth is, there are more strategies and tactics needed to successfully transform your company culture with the help of your management team. So before I leave, I'd like to ask you 2 very important questions. Would you like to learn the exact process I use to help companies change their culture and increase financial performance in as little as 4 months? Or would you like me to give you and your team of managers and supervisors the skills they need to become leaders in the workplace? Well, if you answer yes to either of those questions, then this is what I have for you. I'd like to introduce you to the Workplace Transformation Program. The Workplace Transformation Program is a proven and tested culture transformation and leadership development system that helps companies and aspiring leaders go from where they are to where they want to be in the shortest time possible. As you probably know, most traditional training programs involve training sessions in a classroom setting through presentations and group activities. My experience shows that these kinds of trainings create curiosity and excitement, but do not provide tangible results. Once the participants go back to their positions, they just continue facing the same challenges that they had from the beginning. Now, my approach is different. The key to permanent positive change in a company is to build momentum and to see and experience real progress. This is what gets people excited. So in order to guarantee results, we have to do things a little bit different. With the Workplace Transformation Program, you can get leadership and culture transformation training, implementation activities, one-on-one coaching, follow-up and accountability, evaluations and progress reports, and sustainability. This is what will help us deliver a transformation. The Workplace Transformation Program is unique because it focuses both on the training and the implementation activities required to get results. The truth is, most managers are too busy to keep track and follow up with these activities. That is why I serve as a facilitator to ensure we build momentum and stay on track until progress is made and results are achieved. So by now you must be wondering, how can you and your team get started with the Workplace Transformation Program? Well, here's the good news. There's 2 ways to get started on your journey to culture transformation and leadership development. Option number 1 is to do it yourself at your own pace with the Workplace Transformation Online Training Program. This is a 4-month program that you can access directly from your computer, tablet, or mobile device. The program includes videos, summary sheets, and implementation checklists. A tracking tool is also included so you are able to observe your progress and the progress of your team. It is a great leadership development system for busy managers. Now, let me tell you about the second option. Option number 2 is to do it with my help and guidance through the Workplace Transformation, Coaching, and Accountability Program. This program includes all of the main modules inside the online program, but this time you can get the training and one-on-one coaching done on-site or through video conference. I serve as a facilitator and coach to help you and your team implement the steps that will deliver your goals. The training and coaching can be given to you as a leader of the project, as well as all of your team and members of your company. The Workplace Transformation Coaching and Accountability Program works because it is not just a training, it is a movement. This movement is all about having the right people with the right skills in the right position. And people get excited to be part of a movement, especially if the destination is a more pleasant and productive work environment. So if you're serious about transforming your culture and getting better results with the help of your management team, then this is what I want you to do next. I am offering a free 30-minute consultation for those of you who would like to see if the Workplace Transformation Program is right for you. All you have to do is to click on the link below or go to adrianmeraz.com/apply. Now, as much as I would like every company to go through my program, the truth is that this program is not for everyone. So here is how I can help. First, you must be a top executive, general manager, or HR manager in a well-established company with a minimum of 50 employees. In average, I work with companies that have between 200 and 1,000 employees. Also, you must care about the growth and development of your managers, supervisors, and employees. You must be coachable and willing to learn and implement new management and leadership strategies. And finally, you must be willing and able to invest in the tuition of the program. Now, keep in mind that the total investment required depends on the number of participants you wish to enroll. But the good news, there are monthly payment plans available. So to get started, just click on the link below or go to adrianmeraz.com/apply. Once you submit your application, you will be able to pick the best day and time for your free consultation. Seriously, you have nothing to lose. Get your free consultation today and get a step closer to the clarity, relief, peace of mind, and increased performance you have been searching for. If you made it this far, I want to thank you for your time and interest. I hope to talk to you very soon.